Hi guys, so in this module today I would like to talk to you a little bit about segmentation, value proposition or value proposition statement, and eventually we're going to talk about HTML marketing or email marketing. But in this video in particular, we're just going to touch on very quickly these two topics. This is a whole sub-module of the, I think it's module C. So this is module B now. We are starting talking about how to relate the segments that we obtained from the first module, which is the clustering module, and how do we create now the communication, which is the value proposition and positioning and so forth. So this is a very basic introduction for those students who have very little knowledge of marketing because they haven't taken the principles of marketing course. What we do with marketing is basically we start with segmenting the customers, grouping them so that based on common grounds, so that we can target them separately and in a very personalized manner. So we group the customers based on common grounds using the clustering technique, and then we target each cluster. Last year, some of the students were still asking me this question that really depressed me. I get depressed when somebody asks me this question. So why don't we just send one email and that's it? This is the kind of attitude of laziness. This is the lazy people kind of attitude. This is a whole science in marketing. This is the state of the art, I would say, but it's no longer described of a state of the art because it has become a standard, a norm, that you segment your customers. There's a whole science called segmentation in marketing. Targeting and positioning. So if you ask any marketing professors here at TIU and elsewhere, they're all aware of what we call it STP, segmentation, targeting, and positioning. Okay, so what would be the main components of a very successful email, business email? If you're talking to your customer, you need to know your positioning. You also need to include and know your value proposition. And I'm going to talk in this video about the difference between positioning and value proposition. Then you need to include minimum call to action, CTA. Buy it now, join us now, learn more now, get it now, something like that. You need also, if you're working with e-commerce, which is our case study, you need an incentive, like a discount, a bundling, something like that. Also, it is a very good practice. This is not a must, but it's now becoming a standard. For example, if you visit an e-commerce store, you'll find this little timer. It's like a countdown kind of timer. And this countdown kind of timer gives you a feeling that this offer is not lasting forever. So you need to take an urgent action or you're going to miss out on an opportunity. No human being would like to miss out on an opportunity. So this gives the illusion, not illusion, but gives you the feeling or cast the feeling to the customer that this is and requires an urgent action to be taken, so that you incite them to take action as soon as possible. Because once they close this email, and if they are very busy people, right now you probably don't receive that many emails to respond to and to look after, but once you start working and you become a manager or responsible for so many things and so many people, you will know how busy you will get. And once this email is closed, you're probably gonna forget. Sometimes, guys, even I urge you, sometimes I remember that you send me an email, but I don't remember the name of the person, or I don't remember how to get it. I try to get it back, but I can't. So once you close this email window, you're lost. You lost it. And this is, put this in the back of your head. As an intern, as a fresh graduate, when you are dealing with email marketing, you need these people to do it, to make an action and to take an action as soon as possible so that you don't lose them. Explanation of the offer, you need to, of course, to explain what the offer is. Usually in our case, we're gonna enhance this explanation with a picture, with graphics, and also embed a button in each graphic so that the person can go into that specific website. On our website, we're gonna just talk about whatever hypothetical website for wine, for a winery, and then we try to embed certain links to that email. And also it is a very good practice to make it very easy to read, and the bestest part to do that is to do it through bullet points. Okay, graphical and visual. So make the email an HTML template, not a text template. And of course, feature products in pictures. Okay, so now that you know that these are the basic components, if you have any suggestions, share it with us in class. So the first thing I'm going to ask you on Tuesday is to discuss this a little bit and see what you guys can add to my list, because this is all a list that I compiled together. Let me talk to you a little bit about these two concepts, positioning and value proposition. As a communicator, you need to know your position. I always say that. For example, in fact, when I'm communicating with our director, I am so careful and I'm so on my toes, even though he's a very great person, a very friendly person, but I know he's a very busy person. I need to maximize my time with him. I need to listen more than I talk, and most importantly, be very respectful. So this is the kind of, you know your position, you act accordingly. Same with business, basic concept. What is your positioning in the market? You need to know your marketing mix. For those students who haven't taken marketing, we have a marketing mix that evolved over time, in fact. This is the traditional marketing mix, and we call this the 4 P's. Why? Because it starts with P: product, price, place over here, distribution or place, and promotion. Now, so far, it has evolved to the 7 P's to include process, project, plan, and 3 with the 4. So now it's 7. So now we're talking about more of 7 P's to attain what we call it consistency. And when we're talking about an omni-channel, now the 7 P's, we talk about the 7 P's when we want to describe what we call it in marketing, an omni-channel. Anyway, this is beyond our discussion. But you need to really know your product. Are you premium, basic, durable? Your price, so you need to include the price. You need to include the price in the email. Of course, I haven't mentioned this here, but I said an explanation of the offer. So an explanation of the offer is basically the P's: the product itself, the price of the product, how do you ship it, it's fast shipping, it is a free shipping, so this could be part of the incentive, or spend this much money and get a free shipping. And also your promotion or incentive. So this is also over here, the incentive. So far, with the 4 P's, we're covering incentives and we're covering mostly the explanation of the offer. So if you're going to write an email, make sure you start here. Did I talk about the product? Did I explain the price? Because you don't need to forget anything, especially if you're an intern and it is a service or it's an industry you know nothing about. So always double check. Double check, did I explain the product? Did I explain the price, the promotion, distribution, and so forth? And then positioning here, implementing chosen image and appeal to chosen segment. This is one of the many definitions of positioning, but I like to explain positioning in a more precise manner. Okay. So this is good for you now. So this is the incentive for you. This is also could be an incentive, but also could be educational. And price also not educational, informational. And this is informational as well. Let's talk a little bit about the difference between positioning and value proposition. All right. You must be, as a business, I always tell my students, I like a book for John Mullins. And John Mullins has wrote a very amazing, awesome book on a business model. And he described any business model to be a 5-legged stool. A stool is like a chair with 5 legs. So your business if your business needs to be strong, all the legs needs to be strong. However, if only one leg is strong, the stool is kind of shaky. Sit on it and you will fall. So you minimum need 1 or 2 legs to be very strong, meaning you achieve competitive advantage with 1 or 2 legs. This is, by the way, the neighbor's kid, if you can hear crying. So in any case, guys, you need to have more than one benefit. Same idea. Now I am running into an analogy. So similarly, it goes without saying, when you're starting a business or working in a business, a very successful business, any company that is survived for years, it must be very successful, must have more than one benefit, provides more than one value, offer or more than one benefit. So let's assume you have a minimum of benefit A, B, C for a certain product. So we're talking per product. So every product can provide multiple benefits, A, B, C, and then also the price is part of the value proposition. It's like over here we're talking positioning and it has price. Same applies here, but over here when we're talking about value proposition, we're talking price against or opposed to or along with different benefits. Benefit A, B, and C. Now, based on these benefits, you actually also will find out that these benefits has been uncovered through the segmentation. Because you have done market research, you understood that customers value this product because of these benefits, and most of the population of your customers who are buying this product are buying it for these benefits. So you already now know that you are having this product that provides the following benefits for different segments of your customers. Now, you need to position yourself in, now this is then, okay, back again, the value proposition with different benefits used along with the price, along with each benefit, is used for marketing communication with customers. Meaning, for the first segment, we talk to them about benefit A that they value. And over here, same, segment 2 values benefit B. Segment 3 values benefit C, and so on. Exactly as we were doing over here. This segment values the low quantity. This segment, what do they value? This segment values champagne and Prosecco. I think this is a sparkling wine. So these guys, all these champagne or champagne and Prosecco are all sparkling. Let me just double check. I am not really, we don't drink alcohol. We don't even drink Coca-Cola or Pepsi. So we try to lead a healthy lifestyle. So I think it's a sparkling, isn't it? White wine produced in large wine. Is it sparkling? Is it sparkling? Yes, it is a sparkling wine. So Prosecco is a bubbly wine. So all these guys are bubblies. So these guys actually value the bubbly sparkling wine. So we now know that this is one benefit of my offering, this is second benefit, and so on. All right, now you understand. Good, practical. Now, one of these benefits, we should choose one of these benefits not only per product, but across all our products line. At the very beginning, when we were talking about communication with the customer, we were talking about value proposition per customer. But now we're talking here in the positioning statement, we're talking about the cumulative view of all our products. So one of these benefits should be chosen as to highlight our positioning in the market, our position in the market, where I stand. Meaning, there must be more senior, like senior employees to you, senior products, senior brands to your brand, and so forth. So you know where where you stand. You don't have to do. If we're talking about the marketing warfare back in the 70s and so on, and you are going to attack other brands, definitely you're not gonna go attack a senior brand to you. You're gonna attack a brand closer to your diameter on the what we call it, the what do we call it, the branding. There's a graphical representation of yourself along with the other competitors. I exactly forgot what we call it, but we usually use it when we do branding analysis. But in any case, how do we get to the positioning statement? Same way. Positioning statement, we get to it same way, which is you need to know where you stand relative to the competitors. So this means that you have competitor 1, 2, 3, 4 in a table, and then over here you will have different benefits, and then you ask customers to rate, the customers who are using or experienced different products from different competitors, or maybe these won't be really customers but maybe experts more or less. So you will have many consultants and the business consultants or very seasoned experts in a certain area, and they start rating the benefits provided by each company for the brands that they offer. And this way you will find a gap that nobody is focusing on this benefit, or everybody else is rating low on this benefit. So you can use it for a positioning statement, so you can shine relative to the competitors. You don't repeat yourself. Also, there are certain strategies, interesting strategies for positioning. You could have something called the straddle positioning. Straddle positioning is like when you're riding a horse and one leg is to the right and one leg to the left, exactly the same. And they call it the straddle positioning, where you can actually position one leg in a certain territory and the other on the other territory. Basically, you score. Basically, what you do, you focus on luxury and functionalities, like BMW when they entered the United States market in the 70s. They found out that every brand, automobile brand or maker focuses either on luxury, on functionality, on this, on that. But they were like, why don't we, very smart German, they were like, why don't we focus on two rather than only one? Because we can't compete with the American brands on only one ground, and we can't create a new, I would call it maybe a new genre. So they actually used what we call it straddle positioning. So you could use multiple benefits if you want to do your positioning statement. So again, value proposition based on different benefits along with the price. You use it to communicate with each segment of customers, with your customers. So we're going to use value proposition more or less for communicating with the customer why this is good for you, because you belong to this segment. It must be good for you, because this is good for the communication and for segmentation. Also, when we're communicating with the customer, we need to tell them why us, why you need to believe in us, because we need to position ourselves differently. Why are we different? The unique selling point. So over here in positioning, if you may allow me, I will call it the unique selling point. unique selling point. What is your unique selling point? What's all unique about you? Yeah. So this is also one of the questions that may be the kind of not easy interview. They might ask you, what is your USP? What is your unique selling point? Why you? They also ask you in an interview, why you? You know, so it is very difficult to answer this question, especially if you don't know anything about the other candidates or much about the industry. But if you know that most of the candidates graduate like you, and the percentage of them having certification, like a certification in Google Search, certification in AdWords, and so on, and certification in Tableau, and you have it all, that you have some certifications, you can say I have certifications, and so on, so on. I also have internships, more than 3 internships or so on. What else? I also wrote a thesis as a bachelor graduate. So you will have a very strong positioning here when you are having a very unique selling point. So you can have multiple benefits here, one or multiple benefits that you focus on. All right. So the product advantage versus competitors is the positioning statement, while over here we're talking about the customer expectations and communicating with customers when you're talking about value proposition. These are examples of wrong value proposition. It's very likely your marketing campaigns are underperforming from poorly crafted value propositions. So you did the data analytics, you uncovered different segments, and then you craft a very bad, or you have a poorly crafted value proposition statement, then your marketing campaign will underperform. So we need now to focus on what would be a good example of value proposition. This is a bad example. We empower your software decisions. You told me nothing about the benefit. I don't sell products and services. I sell results. My guarantee. This is all examples of a slogan. A slogan. It's not an example of a value proposition. You know, a slogan that comes with a logo. So you have your a graphical representation of your company, which is a logo that should not only reflect your image as a business and your standards, but also even the colors palette of it should be consistent with your website. And then you have the slogan, and these I see them more as slogans and not value proposition. Value proposition is straight to the point. I offer you here, this is what you're looking for, because I know this is what you're looking for because you've been buying this minimum quantity. I know what you're looking for because you guys, all you here, are been buying bubbly wine. So it is up to the point, exactly like that. Now positioning statement is different. You can, now I want your creativity. I want you to look up what's there in the wine industry. Nowadays, you know that it's about recycling, it's about global warming, it's about organic. So I want you to add on your email vision, crafting some sentences and crafting your value proposition. I want you to think creatively about how you can position yourself differently in the wine industry. So I want you to study a little bit about the wine industry. I'm sorry that my example comes from the wine industry, especially for some students who religiously don't, their standards don't align and their beliefs don't align with such an industry. But please overlook the fact that this is wine. If it's offending you, I hope it's not offending you, and just focus on the core, on educational purpose of all this. So please focus on what really matters, which is education. And it is never bad to know anything about whatever industry, even if it's an industry that you don't agree with. It is always important to know and to expand your horizon. I always say the same to some of the students who say, I don't want to know anything about the evolution, the human evolution, and I don't believe in it. Yes, you don't believe in it. Know about it so that you know why you shouldn't believe in it if you don't want to believe in it. Yeah. So the same applies here. I hope that you can. I hope you don't get offended. In the future, I promise, if I have any other example other than wine, I will do so. Anyway, having this done, now I hope that you clearly understand what a value proposition is. Value proposition is based on your segments. This is why we started with clustering. And then now I asked you in the previous assignment to actually do this, because this is part of extracting the value proposition. But I am going to ask you to write an email and write some sentences that you could use in the email that we're going to send. And these sentences that you're going to write should come from here. Do you have a certain positioning? So I want you to write, at the end of this presentation, I'm going to ask you actually to write some sentences, yeah? So some of the sentences, I want you to imagine anything here, positioning statement about organic wine. Are you doing recycling? Are you having your own plantation, like the juice company, not Tropicana, the Japanese competitor, which is what? Komamon? The juice company, the Japanese Komege? What's the name of the juice? It's a juice company. I always buy it. I even wrote a case study on it. How could I forget the name? For God's sake, I forgot the name. It's a juice company. It's in campus. No. Okay, I forgot the name of the juice, but they have a plantation all over the world, and they supervise them. What is the name? Forgot. So they supervise them. So this some examples of positioning statement. Or you can drive on the history. You say we are 100-year-old, or we are in business for generations, or we have a patent. Does this is a unique selling point? Also a patent. I don't think anybody would have a patent for anything, but maybe you can have a patent packaging, for example. If you're selling not to B2B, probably selling to B2C, anything like that. I welcome any creative ideas. Surprise me. Even if it's B2C, it's okay, as long as you surprise me with a creative idea. Value proposition, I just explained to you, it comes from here. And then call to action, write a call to action. Like buy it now or get it now. Incentives, tell me about the discount, and this is why we have a discount over here. And then urgency to take an action, as supplies last. Hurry up or something like that. Order soon, or here also call to action is order soon. And say something that limited supply. Say something like limited supply, and so on. Explanation of the offer in a bullet point. I don't want you to do this for the assignment for now. Let's slow down. So probably I'm going to ask you just to be creative with a positioning statement and just write a value proposition statement for each one of these. I don't wanna overwhelm you with so many assignments. So the assignment is going to be just write one positioning statement and 5 different value proposition statement based on the extracted information from our clustering. So here's the definition of it. And now the assignment explanation. Please use the assignment 4 file, this file that we just did, and write to the best of your ability sentences, 5 sentences. What am I doing here? 5, one sentence, or let me write it very clearly. 1 sentence for each cluster or customer segment. Actually, 1 value proposition statement. I didn't give you any examples of a value proposition statement. Yeah, I didn't. Don't get confused. I said to the best of your ability. All right? When I say to the best of your ability, just do your best. Whatever you write, I would like to see your creativity. But then I have another set of slides that has different examples of value proposition. I'm going to put you into groups so that you can work together in crafting a very nicely done value proposition statement. So this is not the end of it today. We're going to work together in class on Tuesday. So please, all of you, come to class on Tuesday. But right now, I just want to make sure that you have seen this video and you came up with very unique value proposition statements. I'm going to take a look randomly at the assignments and pick and choose some of the examples and put it on a slideshow and discuss it with you on Tuesday. And this is where we start on Tuesday. Thank you so much, guys. I'll see you on Tuesday. I look forward to that. It's going to be a very interactive and interesting educational session. And hopefully you won't get stressed out. I told you to the best of your abilities. Do your best, all right? So over here I said get the best seasonal French wine for up to 87% discount. You could add to that something like that. Starting from, be careful, guys. Think like a marketer. Don't limit them to the 6. If you can sell more, you are so happy. So if you can sell 12 instead of the 6, so 6 times 2, you are happy. So always say 87 discount in starting from as minimum starting from a minimum quantity of 6 kilograms only. So this is a nice value proposition, up to the point. Do you see how easy it is? So this is an example that I'm giving to you. So maybe write, I will say 4. How about that? I don't want to overwhelm you with assignments. So I'm going to say 1 value proposition statement for how about that? So I'm making it easier for you. You just need to write 4 statements for cluster 2, 3, 4, and 5. Something similar to this. You highlighted in red whatever points you like to focus on as a value proposition. And here I wrote get the best seasonal. Seasonal, I said seasonal because it's not past its peak. False, 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 false. So it's not past its peak. I probably should have highlighted this in red, because we have so many falses here. And also I'm going to copy that and put it here instead. So get the seasonal, the best seasonal French wine for up to, here's the incentive, because remember, lovely people, please remember, when we're talking about the value proposition, we need to talk about price, but you have different products under the French seasonal, right? So you're not going to give the price all of a sudden like that, unless you say for only $10 and so forth. But we don't have this information. So instead, the proxy for a price will be the discount. All right. So this is why you need to, by all means, say something about the discount in your value proposition. So you need to add this element of price or price element in there. Even if it's not directly by stating the price directly, but you can also put it as a discount here. as a proxy through the discount, starting from a minimum quantity of 6 kilograms only. And here is a value proposition. Guys, I hope that this video was explaining nicely what I'm trying to cover so far about value proposition and positioning. I will see you in class on Tuesday. Take care of yourself.